Didn't you once have great dreams, fantasies of being, what was it, a cat burglar?
I wanted to be a criminal as a child. It's funny. I'm not kidding, because when I went to school, high school in the United States, everybody had to become something. You know, you had to decide what college you wanted to go to, and crime seemed like a good way of life to me at the time. It's an interesting thing. I felt that, you know, it was an exciting way to make a living. And this is really, I'm not being facetious, and you made your own hours, for one thing, and it had a certain dangerous quality to it. And at that time, at first I thought of being a confidence swindler and using my intelligence to and I thought of being a cat burglar and an extortionist, and I toyed with the notion of being a sexual offender for the longest time, and was able to achieve certain strides in that area. Mostly within the family, however.
In a godless universe, I didn't want to go on living. Now, I happen to own this rifle, which I loaded, believe it or not, and pressed it to my forehead. And I remember thinking at the time, I'm going to kill myself. Then I thought, what if I'm wrong? What if there is a God? I mean, after all, nobody really knows that. But then I thought, no, you know, maybe is not good enough. I want certainty or nothing. And I remember very clearly, the clock was ticking, and I was sitting there, frozen, with the gun to my head, debating whether to shoot. All of a sudden, the gun went off. I had been so tense, my finger had squeezed the trigger inadvertently. But I was perspiring so much, the gun had slid off my forehead and missed me. And suddenly, neighbors were pounding on the door, and I don't know, the whole scene was just pandemonium. And, you know, and I ran to the door. I didn't know what to say. You know, I was embarrassed and confused, and my mind was racing a mile a minute. And I just knew one thing. I had to get out of that house. I had to just get out in the fresh air and clear my head. And I remember very clearly, I walked the streets. I walked and I walked. I didn't know what was going through my mind. It all seemed so violent and unreal to me. And I wandered for a long time on the Upper West Side, you know, and it must have been hours. You know, my feet hurt, my head was pounding, and I had to sit down. I went into a movie house. I didn't know what was playing or anything. I just needed a moment to gather my thoughts and be logical and put the world back into rational perspective. And I went upstairs to the balcony, and I sat down, and, you know, the movie was a film that
you.